Good morning. I'm Dr. Wilson Ball, Associate Professor, Department of Corporate Secretaryship of K.S. College of Arts and Science. Now, let us see the table which is given here clearly explains what are the expenses to be allocated on what basis. Okay. So, example, the first point says in the table, all your fixed expenses like salary, rent, rates, tax, insurance, depreciation, postage, telegram, audit fees, printing stationery, office expenses, depreciation again, interest on loan, bank charges, establishment expenses, advertisement if it is given in monthly basis. Advertisement if it is given in monthly basis, it is taken as time ratio. So the expenses that I called out now, the salary, rent, and tax, insurance, everything will be divided in time ratio. Okay, the column 1 gives all the expenses that are to be divided in time ratio. Next, the column 2, here the expense list of expenses that are given here are related to sales. For example, the expenses that are related to sales are commission, discount, salesman salary, traveling expenses, advertisement expenses. Here also the advertisement expense is coming. In the previous case, we saw if it is given as monthly within bracket. If advertisement expenses within bracket, if it is given as monthly, you will take it as time ratio. You will divide that expense in time ratio. If advertisement expense is given and nothing is given within bracket, in that case, you will divide that in sales ratio. And then carriage outward, provision for bad debts, etc. So all these expenses that are related to sales will be divided in sales ratio. Okay. Then the third point says all the expenses that are related to pre-incorporation period. That is for the first period before the incorporation. Okay. That is it was when it was run by a sole trader, a proprietor, a partnership, business. When it was run in a sole trader, partnership, or proprietor business, in those times there would be some expenses made by the sole trader. Like example, a managing director of a partnership, it can be a managing director salary, then manager salary, sole trader salary, proprietor salary. So these are expenses can be treated as a pre-incorporation. It is not managing director salary. For information, it is only manager salary, not managing director salary. Okay. Once you call it as a director, it goes to the company form. So you will get only a manager salary, a sole trader salary, a proprietor salary, a partner salary. Okay, these expenses are purely related to the proprietor, the pre-incorporation period. So if you come across any expenses in this name, you will write the full amount in the first column itself. You will not divide this amount actually. Okay, you will not divide this amount. I'll repeat, all the expenses that are only for the pre-incorporation period, that is before the incorporation, are a sole trader salary, a proprietor salary, partner salary, okay, manager salary. So these are the salary expenses that will be written, the full amount will be written in the first column, that is the pre-incorporation period column. Okay, and number 4, there are some expenses which are written fully for the post-incorporation period column. Example, all the expenses that are written in the post-incorporation column are the debenture interest, the discount on issue of debentures, preliminary expenses, formation expenses. In other words, preliminary expense can also be called as formation expense. Then donation given by company, the director's fee, underwriting commission, etc. These are the expenses will be fully written in the post-incorporation period. That is in the after the incorporation period, which means these expenses that comes only for the company, not for the sole trader. If these, for example, debenture interest is there, which means that is incurred by the company, not by the sole trader. Then preliminary expense is there, in which means that is an expenditure which is incurred by the company after it has been incorporated, not before the incorporation. Okay, so those expenses will be fully written in the post incorporation column, not in the pre incorporation column, or not divide. You don't divide that those expenses. Okay, so please memorize this table. Okay, the first column, I'll repeat, the first column, the first point says it is expenses which are in time ratio, these are expenses that will be divided in time ratio. Then second point says, the first column, second column says those expenses are related to sales, so which means you will divide in sales ratio. Then third point says all the expenses that will be written only in the pre-incorporation period, before the incorporation period. Then fourth point says all the expenses that will be written in the post-incorporation period. Okay, so please memorize this before doing this. You have to memorize, then only you will be able to understand which ratio you should apply for these expenses. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. Now we'll do a sum now. The Ganesh Limited was incorporated on 1/7/1997 to acquire the running business of Sunil and Co. with effect from 1/1/1997. The following was the profit and loss account of the company on 31st December 1997. The profit and loss account is given as the following. On the debit side, you come across office expenses, formation expenses. Formation expense, what is another name? It is given there in the table in the previous slide. It is preliminary expense, not okay. Then stationery, selling expenses, director's fee. Okay. Then net profit, or gross profit is given there. You are required to prepare a statement showing profit earned by the company in the pre and post incorporation period. The total sales for the year took place in the ratio of 1:2, which means the problem directly gives you the sales ratio, that is 1:2, before and after the incorporation. Okay. Now we'll go to the answer now. So once you find a sum, you have to start with, for the answer, you have to start with the time ratio first. You will calculate the time ratio first. What is the first date as it is given here in the sum? 1/1/1997. What is the second date given in the sum? That is incorporation date, 1/7/1997. The incorporation date can be written as registration date also. Okay, registration date and incorporation date means one and the same, but doesn't mean the formation date. That doesn't mean the commencement date. Okay, commencement date is different. Commencement date will not be considered anywhere in the sum. Okay, incorporation date and registration date are same. Okay, then third date is the closing date of accounts, 31st December. Then to find time ratio, you already know the first date to the second date, that is from 1/1/97 to 1/7/97. How many months are there? January, February, March, April, May, June, July. July you don't take because it is on 1/7. So it is not 31/7, it is only 1/7. Therefore, you will not consider 7th month. You will take only up to 6th month. So it is 6 months. Then afterwards 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So after the incorporation, there is another 6 months, which means 6:6. That is 6 months. It's a 6 month. Is 1:1. That will be your time ratio. Then second, sales ratio is already given there in the sum as 1:2. No need for you to do any calculation for that. Okay. Now that is the first step in your answer. We'll go to the next slide now. We'll do the P&L in the next slide. Now look at this P&L. This is how you are going to do a P&L. You are not going to do any P&L in the ledger form hereafter. Hereafter, we will be doing a P&L in the vertical form. Okay. You won't do any ledger as you did in the first year or +1 or +2. Hereafter, you will be doing your P&L in the vertical form, not in the ledger. Debit side, credit side will not be there. Which means you write all your incomes first. Then write all your expenses one by one. Okay. Expenses are, there are 4 headings for expenses. There are only 4 headings for your expenses. Employee benefit expenses, finance cost, depreciation and amortization, other expenses. Okay. In income, you have 2 columns actually, gross profit, and the other one is in other income. The other one is other income. Okay. For income, you have 2 headings actually. Gross profit can be there. Now another one can be other incomes. Okay. Then here the gross profit is given in a sum as 2,25,000. So gross profit will be divided always in sales ratio. Okay, we already know the sales ratio is 1:2. Okay, so you are going to do the P&L in a column form now. We are going to do the P&L in a columnar form. The first 6 months will column, another 6 months in another column. The amount column, two amount columns represents the first amount is the total amount spent by the first amount column after the particulars. The first amount column represents the amount that is spent, the total amount that is spent. Okay, then the third column basis says on what basis you are going to allocate the expenses, what basis you are going to divide the expenses. Okay, now the other column, next column is the amount column after the basis. The amount column after the basis will be called as pre-incorporation column. Okay, which means that will be the first 6 months. The next amount column will be called the post-incorporation period, that is after the incorporation, that is after 1/7. So any expenses that is spent after 1/7 will be written in the last column. Any expense that is spent before the incorporation will be written in the last but first column. Okay, so this is how you do the allocation. This is how you do this, divide your expenses. Okay, first gross profit, whenever you come across gross profit, you're going to divide the gross profit in sales ratio always. That is, the sales ratio is 1:2. So if you divide the sales ratio 2,25,000 in 1:2 ratio, the first 6 months you'll get 75,000. The next 6 months you'll get only 1,50,000. Okay, then now the expenses now. Employee benefit expense is a heading. Finance cost is a second heading. Third is the depreciation and amortization is third heading. Then fourth heading is the other expenses. The first three headings, there is no expenses given in the sum actually. The first heading will always be employee benefit expenses. Under this heading, you have only salary and wages. In no other things will appear here. Then next heading is finance cost. Under this heading, you will come across only finance expenses. That is your interest on loan, interest on bank loan. So any interest paid will be coming in the second heading. Then all your depreciation and return of expense will be written in the third heading. The last heading is your other expenses. Anything that doesn't fall in the first three headings will be written here. All the other expenses will be written in the fourth other expenses column. Okay. Here in the sum you have office expense first. Office expense is nothing but fixed expenses or monthly expenses. So that will be in always time ratio. This 54,000 will be divided in time ratio, that is 1:1. If you divide this time ratio in 1:1 ratio, the first column will be 27,000, second column will be 27,000. Then formation expenses. The formation expenses is nothing but preliminary expenses. Okay. First, for this you have to go back to the table that I showed you in the second slide. The table shows in the formation expenses to be written as in the full amount, that the formation expense amount of 10,000 rupees, the full amount should be written in the last column, that is your post incorporation column. That is what is done here. Okay, and it should be on the basis you write allocated, not time or sales. You should be written as allocated. The full amount will be written in the last column, and you will not divide the 10,000 on any ratio. Okay, you will write the full amount that side. Then stationery expenses. Excuse me. Stationery expenses is 5,000. So we know the stationery expense is a fixed expenses. Therefore, you will divide in time ratio. The time ratio we know it is 1:1. So therefore, 2,500 and 2,500. Next, selling expenses. Selling is nothing but purely depends on sales. Any expense based on sales is called as selling expenses. So this 60,000 will be divided in sales ratio. The sales ratio is 1:2. That is 20,000, 40,000. Then director's fee. The directors will be only in the company form, not in the proprietor, partnership, or sole trader. Okay, the director will be only in the company form here. Therefore, the full amount of 20,000 will be written in the post incorporation column, that is the last column. Okay, here in simple terms, you are redoing the P&L. Actually, you are redoing a P&L with the two amount column. Okay, and this P&L is in the vertical form. Don't forget, vertical form is nothing but you write all your incomes first, then write all your expenses in the below. So you subtract one from the other. Okay, you subtract one from the other, that is A minus B. The first income is total is named as A, the expense total is named as B. So when you subtract A, okay, when you subtract B from A, you will get the answer as net profit. Okay, that we'll see in the next slide. So here the net profit, the A minus B will give you, first column is 25,500. The second column is 50,500. That is nothing but the first column answer will be called as profit prior to incorporation. The second column heading amount answer will be called as profit post incorporation period. Okay, so that's all about your first sum, that is sum number 7. Now we are going to do sum number 8 now. Okay, Raja Limited was incorporated on 1/7/1984, which took over running concern with effect from 1/1/1984. The sales for the period up to 1st July 1984 was 2,70,000, and from 1/7/1984 to 31st December 1994 amounted to 3,30,000. Okay, then the expenses debited to the P&L account included, what are the expenses that are debited in P&L? That is what is given here. The director's fee, the bad debts, advertisement. Here the advertisement is given within bracket as per month. Okay, so when it is given in per month, it is not in sales ratio, it should be in time ratio. Okay, then salary, expenses, preliminary expense written off, gross profit, everything is there. Okay, so this is all about your sum. First, when you do an answer, first of all, my aim will be to find time ratio first. You already know how to find your time ratio. What is the first date? 1/1/94. What is the second date? That is incorporation date or registration date? 1/7/94. Then what is the closing date? 31st December 1994. Here from first date to the second date, this 6 months. Then from second date, that is incorporation date, to the closing date 31st December is again 6 months. Then the time ratio will be again 6 months, 6 months, that is nothing but 1:1. The second step will be your sales ratio. For sales ratio, it is not given detail, it is not given as it was given in the sum number 7. In sum number 7, they gave you 1:2 directly. Here it is not given as such. Here the expense, the sales are given here. The sales from 1/1/94 to 1st July 94, that is for the first 6 months, was 2,70,000. Then from 1/7/94 to the 31st December 1994, the closing date is 3,30,000. So which means for the first 6 months the sales was 2,70,000. For the next 6 months the sales was 3,30,000. So that will be the ratio here. So 2,70,000 is to 3,30,000, that is 9:11. Okay. So now the sales ratio will be 9:11 and my time ratio will be 1:1. We'll go to the next slide now. Here we are going to do the P&L as we did earlier. Okay, the profit and loss account of Raja Limited as it is. Again, we have to do in a vertical form. I told you earlier itself. Here, no more you are going to do the P&L in a ledger form. Any P&L you will do it only in the vertical form. Your income first, then your expenses, followed by the expenses. Here under the income heading, you have only gross profit. So gross profit will be divided in sales ratio. What is the sales ratio? 9:11. So if you divide this 2,40,000 in 9:11, you will get 1,08,000 and 1,32,000. Okay. Then next, your expenses one by one. Employee benefit expense, nothing is there. Finance cost, nothing is there. Depreciation and amortization, nothing is there. I will go to other expenses now. We have director's fee under there. We already know director fee. What to do with the director fee? Director fee is always in the post incorporation period. It is allocated. It's nothing to do with the time ratio or sales ratio. Okay. Whenever you come across director fee, it will be fully in the post. It will be full amount will be written in the post incorporation period. Then bad debt. So bad debts is nothing but always in sales ratio. So once again, when you remember the tabular column that I showed in the second slide, only then you will be able to do. So you should memorize that. What are the expenses that will be allocated in time ratio? What are the expenses that will be divided in sales ratio? Okay. Now, bad debts in time sales ratio. Advertisement. Since it is given monthly within bracket, you'll divide this in time ratio, not sales ratio. Okay. If monthly is not, the word monthly is not given, you'll divide in sales ratio. Okay. Now, if it is sales ratio, you know what is the sales ratio? 9:11. That way you have to divide. Then advertisement 6,000 in again time ratio. Then salary again time ratio. It is a monthly expense. These are monthly expenses. Preliminary expense. I told you, no. Preliminary expense is only for the company form. Okay. The full amount will be written in the post incorporation column. That is 3,000. Now make the total for A and make the total for B. A minus B will be your net profit. So that will be your, the first column will be the profit prior to incorporation. The second column will be your profit post incorporation bill. Okay. So that will be your end of the sum. We'll continue in the next class. Thank you.